Hi everybody. Today my group 8 will be presenting a little bit about our computer programming project, which is the C++ program. So our group has decided to settle on a journaling system. So before I begin everything, I'll introduce a little bit about my group members. I am the group leader, Chong You Xin. With me, I have Yu Wei, Saad, and Mounib. Next is to explain our source code. The explanation part I will pass on to my group members.
So let's start with my first part of our code. The to-do list class includes a public function called add tasks, which enables user to add a new task to the to-do list. It creates a new task object, prompting to user to input a description and priority for the tasks. The function sets the completion status is done of the new task as false. So we have void view tasks. This function provides a view of to-do list and prompts the user with options. It displays the current to-do list by calling the display tasks methods 1 or 2 to either recognize the table or turn to to-do list. It either calls the recognize table function if the choice is 1 or proceed the next task if the choice is 2. We have also void change status. This function allows the user to modify the status of specific tasks, display the current to-do list using display tasks, promote the user to enter task number to change its status, validate the input task number to ensure it within the valid range of tasks. It's over choice 1 or 2 or 3 to either make the task urgent. We have also void the edit task. This function permits the user to modify details of a particular task. Shows the current to-do list by calling display tasks. Ask the user to input the task number to be edited. Checks if the input task number is valid. If the task number is valid, prompts the user to enter new task description and priorities for selected tasks. This function together facilitates various operations such as viewing to-do lists, changing tasks, status, and editing task details within to-do list management system. We have also set out to-do list /n. This line simply print label indexing the start of to-do list. Display tasks call the display task method, which shows all the tasks in the to-do list along with the description, priorities, and the status. Its int task number declares available to store the task number that the user wants to edit. We have also set out enter the task number to edit prompts from the user to enter the task number they want to modify. Cn task number reads the user input for the task number to be edited. The next part involves handling the input task number. If the task number is more than 1 and task number is less than task size, checks if the entire task number is within the valid range of tasks in the to-do list. The task number valid see out enter new task description. Ask the user to input a new description for the selected tasks. Cn in your getline cn tasks description. We have also entered new priority from 1 to 5. Promote the user to enter new priority for the task. Cn task number, priority, and we have displayed success message indicating that the task has been successfully edited. If the entered task number is invalid, else block inputs invalid task number, print the message indicating that the entered task in number is not valid. We have also void display tasks. This function responsible for displaying the task is a formatted manner. It presents a table-like representation for the task showing their number, description, for the number, description, for the task description, priority for the task priority, and status for the task status. Print line of dashes to separate the headers from the tasks. Output void recognize table. This method asks the user to recognize the tasks based on their priority. If tasks the user inputs and sorts, the task is in this descending order for of the priority using the sort function from the C++ standard library. We have also void make urgent. This function moves the specific tasks to the top of the list, especially making the urgent. Removes it from its current position. You have also void mark as done. Integer task number. This method marks specific tasks as done by changing the is done attribute for the task if the given position in the task vector to true. All these functions are a part of the to-do list class and contribute to managing, displaying, recognizing, and updating tasks within to-do list. We have different actions using the to-do list object to-do list. If the user selects one, it calls the add tasks method of to-do list object. If the user selects two, it calls the view tasks method of to-do list. If the user selects three, it calls the change status method of to-do list object. If the user selects four, it's called the edit tasks method for the to-do list object. If the user selects five, the function returns which ends the loop and program execution. If the user enter any other of the characters, it's display invalid choice. Please try again. Message prompting the user to input a valid choice. Uh, and the program exists or continuous execution depending on the context. In summary, this code sniped provides a text-based menu system that allows user to interact with to-do list object by selecting various options to manage a task in the to-do list. The loop keeps running until the user chooses to exit by entering.
Hi everyone, so today so let's first look at the first line, which is void calendar main. So calendar main basically just represents the whole code for this function, and void just basically means that the code typed within this flow will return nothing. The struct event basically means it is defined to represent individual events, like the string, the description, the date, the time, venue, etc. So one thing that is different here is the bool is done over here. So the boolean is actually something that indicates true and false only. So when we put is done flag with the bool, it means that it sets the flag to see whether it is done or not in this function. So the next thing, class calendar. So the calendar class is basically defined to manage a collection of objects. So like for example, it provides methods to add, view, change status, etc. The private member here includes vector events. So it basically means that this thing acts as something to store all the events within the calendar. Okay, so now moving on to the public class, you will see here a few events that will hold different functions and will return different outputs. So for example, the first one, add events method. For this one, it will allow users to add new events into the calendar. So in this method, the users can add in the day, the description, the time, etc. So in this thing, you can see that the is done flag is defined as false, meaning that it is not done yet. So moving on, we will have the view event list. So in this event list will display all the events stored within the events vector. And one thing that you will see here is the set w over here and the set fill. This basically is the function that we use to output the tables. So you can see that it is basically just defining the distances, the width between the lines and everything. And this one basically just says that if there are no events to display, it will just display this line. And the next is the change status method. Within it, it also includes the view event list. So meaning that when we click onto change status, it will first show this method, and then only will it proceed to these codes. So in this method, it basically means that the users can change the status of the events from pending to done. So one of the more important things here is this. When users choose the index for the events, they will turn the is done bool to true, meaning it will change the status into done. Okay, so this is the main menu for the calendar function. So what you see here is a do while loop. So a do while loop is actually used to display the menu over here, and allows the users to interact with the choices here. So within the loop, users can choose add events, view event list, change status, or return to the main menu. So for case 1, when the users choose 1, it will bring us to add events. Users use 2, it will bring us to view event list. The users choose 3, it will bring us to change status, and vice versa. If users choose 4, it will bring them back to the main menu. Now the default output is invalid choice, please try again, meaning that anything else they type other than 1, 2, 3, 4 will print this line out. And to earn this function means that while the choice does not equal to 4, the whole thing will end and bring us back to the main menu. That is it for the calendar function. Thank you very much.
So hi everyone, my name is Quah Yu Wei, and I'm going to briefly explain my part in the journaling programs. So first, my part in this program is the spending menus. So the spending menus are going to the 3 main functions, which is insert the spendings, check your spendings, and calculate the total of the spendings. Of course, we are going to provide the another functions for, which is back to main menu. So user can choose the function for to the back to the main menu and exit the spending menu. This is the main functions for these spending menus. So after that, before we start the presentations for this code, I need to explain the specific word for you guys in our in this code. So first of all is the max day. So what is max day? Max day is represent the numbers of the day for a month, which is the 31 days, and I set it as 31. The user cannot over the 31 days because in a month we just have 31 days. So a user cannot over the 31 days. After that is the current day. Current day is represent the day of the user use. So it was started with 0. After that is the total spending. The total spending is like it means it was the total of the user spendings. So total spendings is marked the doubles. That's because I need to know the accurate spending totals, and it will start at also 0.0. After that is the main menu of the for the spending menus, which is have a welcome word. Welcome to the spending page. How can I help you? This is the welcome word for the users. So when the users are using our programs and using the spending menus, they are going to see the welcome word. And coming next is the four functions I explained it just now. So let me present it again. So the first one is the insert the spending of the day. The second one is the check your spendings, and the third one is the calculate of the total spendings, and the last one is the back to the main menus. So the user need to choose a choice and or functions to continue the programs, which is they can choose insert the spendings and check the spendings as well to continue these programs. So the user insert their functions or um, insert their chosen that they will mark as spending choice. So as you guys can see on my screen, this one is the user insert the value. So it means that the program are already marked as the spending choice. After that, in the spending choice, we are going to the case for four cases. So let's begin one by one. First one is the functions one, which is insert the spendings for today's. When the users are chosen this part of the functions, they are going to see a sentence which are asking how much did you spend today. This is a sentence that they will see firstly. So after that, the user just insert the spending today, and he will our programs are successfully to record their spending today in the system. After that, have a break functions, and they are going to the user are going back to the main menu for this one. This one is the check value for the users, which is the user can check their values or check their spendings in the specific days. Coming out, the users when the users are choosing these functions, they also have a sentence pull up, which is the which day spending do you want to check? Is that day one or is that day two? So the user need to check the specific days. So he will insert the days. For example, they need to check the day one spending, or you need to know the day three spending how much on spending how much. You will going to insert the day view. Coming out is the if else functions, which is to let the programs know that the day views for it and pull out and show to the users the specific day spendings, as you guys can see in my screen for this one. So that in that day, we are also provide the accurate total spending for that day for these functions. And then the user will see the spending of the day for how many ringgit for it. If not, they are going to pull out the invalid and just let the users to try it again and typing it correctly. After that, just like this one, you will going to break and going to the first main menu for the spending part. Going to the case tree is the spending check. So let's take a look for this. The spending part is the for loop functions, which means that the function that the user can have a spending check. So as we can see, I set the I is equal to 0 and for out was the for loop functions. So the loop functions will continue as long as I is less than the value and as less than the value of the variable's current state. For the iterations, I will increase by 1. So I use you guys can see over here. So plus plus I. So after that is the loop bodies. Inside this loop, the line add the values of the spending today's to the variable total spendings. The loop effectively iterate over each day. So and added the spending for that day to total spendings. So as you guys can see, the output also will show the specific, the accurate, the total spending for the all days, and they are going to pull out and show the total spending for the users, which is your total spending for all days are how many ringgits for it. For the last one is the case for which is the exit functions. So it means that when users are choosing these functions, they are going to ask it again. You are going back to the main menus. So it will return to the main menus if the users are choosing over the function for which is 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't have that. So it will pull out the invalid choice and just let the users to try it again. So break and going back to the main menu for the spendings. So I think that's all for me, and thank you.
Okay, thank you to my dearest group members. Now I'll move on to the demonstration part of our program. So as you can see on the screen, so this is the main menu of the program. You will see here our three functions, which is to-do list, calendar, and spendings. So the fourth option, exit, will just directly terminate the whole program. Now let's first move on to the to-do list. So after we choose number 1 over here, we can see that there is a to-do list menu printed out. So here we can see we can choose from a few. We can choose here to add tasks, view tasks, change status of the to-do list, or to edit the tasks. So let's first add a few tasks so I can explain more on the functions coming forward. So the first one is to do homework, let's say. So after I have entered the task description, I can enter the priority of this task. So from 1 to 5, you can enter 1 being the least important and 5 being the most important. So let's say do homework is an incredibly important task. Let's enter 5. So it'll print out tasks added successfully and it will bring us back to the to-do list menu. So let's add in a few more tasks. Okay, so now that I have added in a couple more tasks, let's see what the tasks are. So let's move on. Let's pick number 2, view tasks. So after we have chosen view tasks, it'll print out a to-do list on your screen. So as you can see here, there are 5 tasks added with the description, priority, and status. Since I have only added the tasks, all the tasks are not done. And you can see the priority here is very messy. It is 5, 3, 4, 3, 2. It is not organized. So what we can do here is to pick organize the table. So let's enter 1, and it will ask us to choose reorganize by priority. Let's choose here. And then after that, it will print out tasks, the table reorganized successfully, and we can recheck the table by choosing view tasks. So now you can see the priority is organized according to the numbers here. So like I said, 5 being the most important, it will be on the top of the list. So now we have already organized the table. Let's return back to the to-do list menu. And here we can change the status of the to-do list. So let's say that I have done my homework. So I want to change the status to done. So now we will have to enter the index number of the task to change the status. So do homework is on the first of the list. Let's pick 1, and we can choose to make urgent or mark as done. To make urgent means that it will disregard the priority, and it will mean that this has to be done right now and cannot be delayed further. Okay, but now we will mark it as done first. Let's enter 2, and then we can view tasks again. Now we can see that the status of the first task, do homework, is done. Let's go back to the to-do list menu and let's try to change it to change one of the tasks to urgent. So let's say the discussion is quite urgent. So we will pick out 5, and then we can make 1. Let's check it again. Okay, so now as you can see that the priority has been disregarded and moved to the top of the table. So it is the most important, the most urgent one. Okay, so there is the final function over here, which is edit tasks. So what will this do? Let's take a look. So let's say that we no longer need to cook dinner, and we can edit the tasks to another task. Let's say instead of cooking dinner, I want to go out and watch a movie. So let's say watch movie. And then we can enter a new priority. So it is not important that let's just put in 1. And then let's view the tasks. And you can see that it has been edited. So basically that's actually it for to-do list. Let's return back. And if we pick 5, it will bring us back to the main menu. Okay, so let's move on to the calendar. And we'll pick 2. And this is the calendar menu. As you can see, there are 3 main functions here, which is add event, view event list, and change status. Let's add events first. So when we choose number 1, it will ask us to enter a few information for the event. So the first one being description, let's say exam. And then enter the event date, let's say 2023, December of 24th. And then the time, let's say 8 p.m. And then the venue, let's say exam hall. Okay, so it has been added successfully. Let's view the event list. Similar to to-do list, you will see that the description, the date, the time, the venue, the hall, and the status, everything is in the table. So let's add in a few more events. Okay, so now I have added another event, and let's take a look at it. So there are 2 events over here, and both statuses are pending. What we can do here is, let's say that the event has already been adjourned. It has already passed. So we can change the status. So let's say I want to change the first one. The exam has already been finished. So let's put in 1, and you will see that the status has been changed to done for this selected event. Let's take a look again, and you can see that the status has been changed to done. So now let's return to main menu, and we'll move on to spendings. Okay, so once we enter 3, we'll be brought to the spendings menu. First one we will see is insert our spendings of the day. Secondly is to check our spendings, and third is to calculate our total spendings. So number 2 and number 3, the differences is that when we check our spendings, we can specify which day's spending we want to check. And for number 3, we can only calculate all the total amount of money we spent throughout the days. So let's insert spending first. Let's say I have spent 90 ringgit today, and we can check our spendings. Let's say, okay, so you can see here that we have 1 record here, so we can only check number 1. And we have 90 ringgit. So if we say we have only 1 record in, but we go and pick number 2, it will print out invalid. Okay, So we will have to insert a few more records to check more records. So let's insert a few more records first. So let's say 8 ringgit, 23 ringgit, 45 ringgit. Okay, so I have a few records in already. Let's go and check out. So I have a total of 4 records here. We can check whichever day we want. Let's say I want to check day 2. So day 2, I spent a total of 8 ringgit. And let's say I want to check day 3. So day 3, I spent a total of 23 ringgit. So let's move on to calculate our total spendings. If we choose here, it will print out the total amount of money we have spent throughout a few days. So in this case, it will print out your total spending for all days is 166 ringgit. So now that is basically all for the spending menu. We can return back to the main menu and we can choose to exit. Exit will terminate the whole program. So let's exit the program. And then it will terminate the program and we can press any key to exit the page.